What's up, gamers and collectors? DGC finally back with another video. It's been a little over a month and a half since I uploaded anything. Been a little bit of a busy boy. Let's talk about it. Alright guys, so yeah, it's been a little while because in the last month and a half-ish, 2-month time frame, I can't remember when I recorded the last video. I know when I uploaded it because I looked. Got a new job. Had some issues with my landlord, thought I was going to need to move, so I was like frantically looking at all sorts of different apartments and this and that, and then like I'm sitting there. Obviously I don't make nearly as much content as I used to, but like it's something I still do enjoy, and living in an apartment is not conducive to making content whatsoever. I couldn't even imagine doing that. Like I follow some other YouTubers that definitely live in apartments, and I'm sure that they could attest to it being kind of annoying, probably having to try to like, arrange when you like know your neighbors aren't going to be home, stomping around, this and that. It would just be annoying to make content. Not that that's a huge thing for me, but it's just like it would be just another annoyance in my life, as well as just living in an apartment with people. Potentially, depending on where you get, you'd have, potentially 4 people near you, or maybe even more, like depending on where you are in an apartment. So yeah, but luckily I didn't have to do that, didn't have to move. My landlord was basically trying to jack up the rent like 15% without fixing any of the problems that I just kind of deal with and accept as part of this place. I have an interesting lease agreement with this woman. Not going to go into that part of it, but it's stuff I shouldn't have agreed to that now the price has gone up, and rightfully so. I mean, I get it. Prices of things have gone up, so I understand that, but it's just like 15% in a year. It's kind of a big jump. So needless to say, got that situated, pretty much just told her like that ain't gonna happen, and I called her bluff. I really was going to move, and obviously I didn't, and we kind of came to a better agreement. So yeah, new job, almost had to move, didn't have to move, is what it is. So I printed out 2 sheets of paper here, and then we'll go over some pickups and other stuff. Well, actually, I guess this kind of leads into this first stack of games, but we'll go over the first stack then we'll go over these sheets of paper. So I ended up getting some Dreamcast games. I haven't picked up Dreamcast games in quite some time, and I actually went through all my Dreamcast games. You probably won't be able to see them there. Well, you can kind of see them. So these first 4 stacks are good disc CIB games that are definitely staying in the collection. This little stack here is like the random Japanese games that I still like do want to own, not many. And then this stack here are all complete. However, the discs are fucked up on them. Not bad, they all play, but they're just like really rough to where like I don't know that I want to. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I want to have a good copy if I'm going for the full set. And obviously I've been going for that for years. For anybody that's following the channel, I just kind of like, I wouldn't say I gave up on it, but Dreamcast games are just hard to find in the wild, so like kind of gave up on it in a roundabout way. But yeah, so this stack here is the one that are all messed up. I ended up buying, and I'm sure someone that's watching this can comment on this. I bought one of those JFJ Pro disc buffer things. I know they're not great, but they're $200, so I figured fuck it, why not? I'll give it a shot. I watched some other YouTubers talk about it. They say that it'll get a decent amount of the light scratches out, so I'm being optimistic. I hope it gets some of them out. I'm going to try it on some of the worst games first to see and kind of test them out. Probably just some of the cheaper Dreamcast games that are in that stack. Your Crazy Taxis, your things like that are not going to be missed if they get fucked up. I don't think that the actual machine will mess up the game. They're already pretty messed up as it is, just from how I bought them. But so I bought that, and then I got 6 Dreamcast games here. There were more that I wanted, and I'm probably going to try to go back maybe the next time I get paid. There was probably about 5 more, but they were a little bit like that next tier up. These are like 25 and under games. They were like the $50 bracket games. And then they even had the egg game, which was roughly anywhere from 70 to like 115, depending on qualities, which you can find that, which is actually a cool game that I've always wanted to play and obviously own at some point. So here's a game that's actually somewhat sentimental to me, and I actually had a disc copy of this since I was 12 years old. The Dreamcast was my first retro system that I picked up in 2002 at the flea market that no longer exists with my good friend Chris. Bought it for $20. I've told that story a million times. Who Wants to Beat a Millionaire was one of the disc-based games that was in there. So I've played this game for the better part of 20 years and played the shit out of it and loved it. And then this is actually a really nice copy of it. It's such a fun game. This was like, for anybody that is not American and or young enough, this was a TV show. Well, it was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire back in the day, but this is like kind of a spoof of it, Who Wants to Beat Up a Millionaire. And it's just a really fun game, and it just shows you the quirkiness of like the early 2000s, and this was a really cool game that I just have a lot of fond memories with because it was one of the original Dreamcast games I got. So this was like, I want to say $8. So very good deal on that. Very good deal. Here's one that I didn't even know necessarily existed, and I saw it. I'm like, is that a PC game? Just because of the way this is like labeled and everything. So this is Railroad Tycoon 2, but then on the top, hopefully you can see that, it says Gold Edition. So way back in like the 90s and the early 2000s, the gold editions and this kind of shit, that was mainly a thing you would see on like edition, was like something you'd primarily see on like PC game boxes and stuff. So like I did like a double tick. I'm like, well, no, that definitely says Dreamcast on the side. And then I got to looking at the back of it. It actually looks kind of like a cool game. Like honestly, it's unique. It's a railroad building game. It could be fun. I don't know. I think this was $12. So again, very good price on that. Nice case, very good copy. And the place that I got these games from, they have one of those super nice, if you've been retro collecting long enough, you've seen them in the stores. Those really elongated cleaners. It's like gray, and then like the lid like folds down on like some hydraulics, and it's got like the three like microfiber things, and then they put in like distilled water. I wanted to say it's called like LJM or something like that. They're like $5,000. This is like for when you own like a legit game store or like a movie store, that kind of thing. But yeah, these are all they clean all their games like that, which is really cool. This was one of the $25 games. Now this is again a franchise that I played way back in the day with my childhood friend Chris on the PC all the time, mainly at his house, was the Worms franchise. So this is Worms Armageddon. This was 20 or 25, I can't remember. Just very, very minty copy of it. Very nice case and everything. I probably will really do want to actually play this and kind of sink my teeth into that and just kind of get that nostalgia train going. I'll save this one for last. Here's another one for the Dreamcast that I didn't even know existed. And I mean, I've looked at this list before. But I don't know, it just like slipped my mind, and I don't know, it's just a very weird title. And this is skateboarding, but then it says MTV Sports on it, and then it says skateboarding featuring Andy McDonald. So hopefully you can see that. Now on the side here, it's got the Deftones, Cypress Hill, Pennywise, System of a Down, Goldfinger, and those are the only names that I know all those bands. The other ones I'm not really sure of. But honestly, the graphics, and again, that'll probably be a little difficult to see on there. Hopefully that'll focus. They look pretty good. Now, here's the crazy thing, and I have to put this in to play it and find out, but this says over 35 huge levels. If that's true, and if they're like the size of like the actual 1 through 4 Tony Hawk games, 35 of those, that would be insane. There's just no way they're that big, but if they are, like, my God, that's insane. What if this is like some super cool hidden gem of like a skateboarding game that like no one ever talked? Again, I have no idea. But I mean, if it's 35 levels, 14 skaters, 10 separate game modes, 64 distinct air and land tricks, skate with AI skaters and stuff. So I don't know, it looks like it could be like a top tier game. This is THQ. They used to make good games back in the day. I mean, THQ still, every once in a while gets a banger. Darksiders. Well, THQ published it. This is from Dark Black, I guess, developer. I've never heard of them. So that must have been a back in the day developer. again, I knew there were 2 Tomb Raider games on the Dreamcast. However, I had the other one, and I have it, and I've had it for like a long ass time. Is the last Revelation Tomb Raider. This is Tomb Raider Chronicles. Just because fuck this store, because they have fucked me over a few times with just various things. There were 2 copies of this. I don't know how or why. Obviously, I found the one that had the lower price on it, and I took it and didn't. Obviously, I'm not going to say anything. I didn't swap the stickers out, so got this for $10. I think typically this goes for $30 because the other one said $30 on it. So I was like, hell yeah, I can get one over on them for once. These fucking retro stores charging out the ass for games. Now here's a cool one here. I texted some of the boys and sent them a picture of all this stuff, and they were like, "Ooh, that's a cool one." This is Wild Metal: Reclaim the Future, and this is a Rockstar title of all things, and it kind of, I don't know, I guess it's just like a tank battling game, like in the future. So I'm actually kind of interested to try this and see what it's like. And oh, that's cool, giant Rockstar logo in there. And see what it's like. I mean, it's basically just a tank game, but like futuristic kind of tank thing. And then I also picked up a new to me, NES power adapter official one, because the one that I've had for the last 25 years with my NES had electric tape wrapped around it and the screws were like missing. So I was like, you know what? I'm finally going to be an adult and buy this AC adapter and get one that's not fucked up. So I finally grabbed that as well. It's already hooked up to my NES. So the reason I brought this list up was that currently I have, including those 6, I have 102 complete Dreamcast games. And like I said, this stack here is 20 games, and they're needing to be fixed. And then 2 of them are super sun faded, so I kind of just don't really want those 2. So I'm roughly at 100-ish games. And I want to say it's 180-ish North American games, maybe 200-ish, I think. I don't honestly know. I'm not going to count this list. Correct me in the comments. But this is like the official list of it or whatever. Am I going to go for all the variants and stuff? I don't know. But this kind of revitalized my want and pursuit for finding these Dreamcast games. So I think I might, like, honestly start going out every weekend. And then actually today, it's Sunday when I'm recording this. Saturday is when I picked those up. I went out to a different store to see if they had any Dreamcast stuff. They did not have a single game, surprisingly. So I am going to start periodically just really trying to find some more Dreamcast stuff. There's a few other stores in the area that I know of that definitely have them. They just want that top tier price for them. But might have to if I want to. I was actually bidding on a copy of Bangai-O, and it was like a steal of a price. It was sitting at $29.99 on bid with like 7 or 8 hours left yesterday, and I'm sitting there bidding. I'm like, what are the odds of me actually winning this? Because that's like a $150, $200 title. I was like, you know what? I'll throw 50 at it. Or no, 45. And then I think it ended up selling for 48. I don't know why, because I had it up on the computer and I had my phone with notifications on. Didn't get a notification. I got a notification when it was the last hour, but not when it was like, I think you typically get one an hour, 30 minutes, and then 10 minutes. And then I didn't get any of the further notifications. So obviously I didn't win. Kind of sucks. The other piece of paper here, though, is a set that I've already completed once before. And I feel a certain kind of way about it that I got rid of it. I've always felt really bad that I got rid of the complete Wii U set. Now, obviously you can see these are just the good games here. Kirby all the way over to Mario Tennis. Those are the good ones that are actually like worth playing. So I find myself, and I still have, the majority of the games are over there on that table just sitting there waiting to be sold. I mean, I even have a sealed North American copy of the Wii U cleaning kit that I bought for $30 from Nintendo way back in the day. That sumbitch worth at least $1,000, which is just insane. And it's just sitting there literally collecting dust, along with like 15 other sealed Wii U games. do I even want the complete set again? Like, I'm sitting here, like, debating, do I want it again? Do I need it? No, because, like, these are the good games that are up here. Maybe some, the Batmans are fun. The Call of Duties are fun. Injustice is, like, okay. They're all good, but they're not, like, I mean, this is just, like, the straight-up Nintendo stuff. And then, obviously, there's some limited edition crap up here, too. Which, though, if I were to ever get rid of, like, Tokyo Mirage, I mean, all these are my original copies anyway, or like all these big box Amiibo things, you're never going to get those back in perfect condition, so I can never get rid of those. As far as the games go, I think I realistically sold 25 out of the set, maybe, max. There's still like 100 games sitting over there, plus the like 30 that are here, and I think it was like 165-ish for a complete set. So, I mean, I'm not that far away from it. Would it be cool? I don't know. It's something I'm contemplating. Let me know your opinion. Should I even waste my time going back and getting the full set? Or is it just kind of stupid because I'm never going to play them? That's why they ended up over on that table anyway, because they're not good games. It's not that they're not. It's just I've already played them and like I'm just kind of done with them. These are the ones I would still go back and sometimes do go back and play. Complete Amiibo set. I did cross this off the list. Let's see here. This is the sheet. I leave this under my keyboard. So we got Rover here. I'm surprised I didn't have this one because that was like super common. It was like $8 to get that. Still need Poochie, Rosalina from the Super Mario set. I need Cloud 2, Bayonetta 2, Koopa Troopa from the Super Mario set, Goomba from the Super Mario set, and then the Pikmin, not the Olimar, but the one where it's like the 5 Pikmin just chilling on the rock. Those are the last ones that I need. It's kind of crazy to think that I have the rest of them. Some of those are like $200. Like the Poochie, you're lucky if you can even find one. The Poochie is probably the second rarest, third rarest Amiibo, being under, and this is just my personal opinion, I think Mega Yarn Yoshi is the rarest. I just don't think people are aware of that yet. Then the Chibi QB boy or whatever, the box boy that we didn't get in America, so I don't even care nor count that toward my set. And then, whatchamacallit, fucking brain fart here. What? Which one was I talking about? Oh, the Poochie. Poochie is rare as shit, but I do believe the Mega Yarn Yoshi is rare, personally. And then Bayonetta 2 and Cloud 2, those are expensive. The Rosalina, the Koopa, and the Goomba, those are all like $100 a piece. The Bayo and the Cloud, about 70 to 80, maybe 100 a piece. So you're talking $1,000 fucking dollars on Amiibos. Like, I just, as much as I want them, I just can't do it. Like, I'll keep an eye out for them, but I can't justify those prices. I just can't. And for anybody that subscribed to me, if you scalp Amiibos, just unsubscribe now. I don't like you. No one likes your kind. You're a vile creature. Get out of here. I hate people that scalp Amiibos. Oh, and I need Pyra and Mithra too. That's another one. Those go for about $55, and I'll tell you why I hate scalpers. You paid $30 or $40 for it new, and then you're going to sell it for $55. So you're telling me for $25 to $15 profit margin that you're making, plus you have to pay for the shipping, pay for the packing material, and then waste your time on eBay trying to sell it for $15 to $25 is worth that little tiny bit of money to you just so that someone else can't get that fucking Amiibo at MSRP? Is that really worth it to you? That $15 fucking dollars? God, I hate scalpers. Got some Wii Switch games here. Picked up these 3 at that Best Buy deal where you buy 2 get 1. Yoshi's Crafted World, rebought this. I've been replaying this here and there, just picking it up and playing it. I really did enjoy this. This is probably one of my favorite Yoshi games. Yeah, I would say this is probably this or Woolly World. Probably Woolly World, then Crafted World, and then 64, whatever that 64 one's called. I don't even remember. Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I was actually hesitant to buy this, but I'm actually really glad I did. Not only does it look amazing on the 4K TV, it looks absolute, like the colors are so vibrant on the OLED if you play in handheld, and like just the way that they have the thick line around all the characters and everything, it looks so crisp. It really does. Here's one that I'm kind of surprised I bought, but I've always wanted to play it. This is one Zelda game that I really never gave too much attention to because it was at the end of the Wii's life, and that was Skyward Sword. So they redid it for the Switch. I'm actually pretty excited to play this once I beat Tears of the Kingdom, whenever that might happen, because that game is dragging out, which I'm not mad about. We'll talk about that here in a minute. And then these are actually still sealed. Got Pikmin 1 and 2 remasters, or remake masters, I don't know. And then Detective Pikachu Returns. I didn't open these, and I'm not going to until I want to play them. And that's kind of something, and then like my Metroid copy that I bought forever ago, Metroid Prime. I didn't open that one because I bought that digitally and physically, just because Metroid Prime is one of my top 3 favorite games of all time. So I'm not really worried about spending $80 on it. I would spend $100 on a physical copy. It wouldn't bother me. But yeah, so I'm not going to, from now on, when I buy new games, I'm not going to even open them until I'm committed to actually playing them, because then they'll at least hold some of their value, instead of when you open it and then you don't play it, then it's kind of like you've lost 20-30% of the value just by opening it, but then you might not even play it ever. You know what I'm saying? So like it holds its value better if you leave it still sealed. Not that I plan on selling them. Getting rid of my collection was arguably one of the bigger mistakes I've ever made in my life. I definitely regret it now, and I wouldn't say I'm like suffering, but I'm definitely dealing with it now, because now when I like reach to go, oh, I want to play Yoshi 60, oh, I don't have it anymore. Oh, I want to play Kirby 60, oh, I don't have it anymore. Oh, I want to play Zelda on this, oh, I don't have it anymore. And that's kind of where I find myself wanting to play all these games, and I just don't have them anymore. There was a point in time where I had all the Kirbys, all the Yoshis, all the Zeldas, all the Marios, all the Sport Marios. I had all of it. I had all the Paper Marios, all the Pokemons, or at least one of each Pokemon, because there's always typically 2. And I regret selling it all. I won't lie. I'm slowly going to build the collection of Nintendo crap back up, because they're just great. And then obviously I'm building up Dreamcast again, debating on the Wii U. PS3 I've been kind of dabbling with the good stuff, like Metal Gear Solid 4. I bought that again. The Wii I'm definitely going to get want to get into the Wii again, but Wii games are at fair market value at this point in time. They're not expensive, but they're not cheap anymore. They're kind of in that area of like expensive. For me though, the one system that I would say has the most fucked up games, meaning like not collector quality. I don't need a game to be fully perfect. Like some of these Dreamcast games I just showed you might have a slight crack in the case. I don't care about that. As long as the manual is like relatively good, like a 7 or above out of 10, and it has the insert and it's got the disc with like moderately like light scratches on it, I don't care. I'm good with it. But when you get to like the Wii, I feel like just because it was such a kid's system, I feel like almost all of the Wii games, every time I look at a Wii game, I like get so excited. I'm like, oh my god, a copy of what's that one game, like Opie or whatever. It's like a platformer thing. Always wanted to try it, but every time I pick it up, it's just fucking destroyed. And I'm just like so mind blown by it. I'm like, why can't I just find good copies of Wii games? So I never find a lot of good Wii games. So the store that I went to, Baltimore Retro Gaming, showed me that, and it's about an hour away from me, one way. So it's like a good. I was in there for like 20 minutes, and then like I had to drive basically 2.5 hours of my life just to go get some games, because there's just no game stores in the county that I live in, which really sucks. I mean, there's a few like random odds and ends things that sell games, but they're not like dedicated game stores. So like I really have to drive like an hour in any direction to go get games. Kind of sucks. And then now we're getting into the cold months to where there's no yard sales, there's no flea markets really near me anymore. Just in general, not because it's cold, but just in general, they're all closed down at this point. So yeah, game hunting around here kind of sucks, and I kind of like have to rely on eBay or driving really fucking far. So it sucks. What am I doing with this? What else? I've been playing the shit out of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm moderate spoilers if you haven't beat that game. I haven't beat it yet either. I have 110-ish shrines done. I think there's like 150-ish. So I'm roughly about 40 or so away from doing that. I'm in the process of getting the 5th champion guy, or whatever you want to call it. It's like the robot one. But I think it's actually the wife of Rauru. I don't know what her name is, but it's like her spirit, I guess. Or maybe something along those lines. I don't know. That's kind of the last mission that I stopped at. What else have we been playing? I played the shit out of Starfield for a little while. It was everything I wanted it to be and everything that Bethesda does wrong at the same time. It was so good, but my gripes with Starfield are as such. So I put in probably a good 20-25 hours, and then I just couldn't do it anymore. I uninstalled it. I was playing on the PC, good settings, it looks good. I was having fun. There was one mission, two like really distinct missions that really like stood out to me that I had a lot of fun with. There was one where we were like going to find like a guy's, I don't know, we were in like a jail that was like on an ice planet, and you had to like traverse your way down and find some shit in a prison cell and then get back out, and then you could like betray the guy you're with or betray the other guy you're with, and it was an epic mission. It was super fun. I was glued to the screen the whole time, like just having a blast with it, wondering what was going to happen next. And that's the kind of games that I like, where you're like wondering what's going to happen next, like, and you're excited to keep playing it and stuff. It's good narrative story. And then there was like a bunch of like space pirate shit, and that's in that arc of the space pirate shit. Then there was like one where you're like on a casino boat, which is, again, it's in the space pirate arc. But yeah, so I enjoyed the game, but what I don't enjoy about it is having to space travel to all the different planets. I get it. I see the logic, and like what, like you physically, like if we were space traveling in space, you'd have to hyper jump or jump from planet to planet and refuel. I get all that, but it's a fucking video game. I just want, like, I'm an old man at this point. My birthday was also in that stopgap of not making videos for the last month and a half. So like, I'm 34 years old now. I'm an old man. When I get off work, I have to, mow the lawn, cook dinner, clean dinner, eat dinner, fucking vacuum, just take care of my car, all the adult shit you gotta do. So when I sit down to play games, I just want to sit down and play. I'm not trying to have to hop from fucking planet to planet and do all this fucking nonsense and then run out of fuel and then have to recalculate how I'm going to get to the spot that's over here by going here and then having to go here and then come back here and then work my way over here. That shit's fucking annoying, Bethesda. Like, it just, I get why you did it, but it's just like, it was too much. In my opinion, for a game, I just want to play the game, fast travel from planet to planet. They could have even, and this is just my personal opinion, they could have even made it to where like significant planets were like gold on the map. So like, hey, this is like a good one that has like good markets where you can trade and buy shit, and this one's got good medical supplies, and then this one's got like, I don't know, shipbuilding shit like on this planet. And maybe that is later in the game where it's like all marked out. I don't fucking know. But for me, it was just too hard to find shit. There was just too much shit. And then Todd Howard essentially lied about the game in a roundabout way. Yes, you can go to any planet. No, you cannot really fully explore them, right? Like, you can, but you can't. So like eventually it just kind of turns you around, and or like there's just nothingness there, right? It's not that it's nothing, but it's like there's nothing there. You're not going to run into another town down there. You're not going to run into a hiker. You're not going to run into a car driving. Like, it's just nothingness, like rocks and plants and shit. So from that aspect, Todd, you lied a little bit. It's a cool game, but it's just, and I really did like it, and I really wanted to go into it liking the game. I really did, and I did, like, I enjoyed it, what I played of it, and I have Game Pass, so like all the Xbox stuff hasn't been worth buying since, I mean, fuck, the Xbox hasn't been a good company since 2013 maybe. Like, when did Fable 3 come out? Like, in my personal opinion, the Xbox brand kind of started to die after Peter left. Like after Fable 3, and then like kind of once you arced into like Gears Judgment, like in that time frame, you know, after that we just really weren't getting exclusives anymore. And like, look at it. What does Microsoft have this holiday season? Forza? And you're talking to someone who's played every Forza day one since they came out. And I played the new one, and we were going to talk about that in a second, so I'm kind of leaning into that one here. But like, what does Xbox have this year? They have Forza. Cool. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. But like the weird thing about Forza is they'll put 600 cars in this one, then they'll drop it back down to 100. Then they'll put 300 cars in this one, then they'll put it back down to 150. Then they'll put in 600 cars in this one, then they'll drop it back down. And then like on launch day, I'm playing the fucking game. I like woke up early accidentally, couldn't go back to sleep, so I was like, I'm playing some Forza. So I'm sitting here 4 in the morning playing some Forza, loving it. And the starting cars were a Type R, the new the S550 Mustang, and a last gen WRX. So I picked the Type R. And then like there was a race that I got to, and then it was like, hey, you need a different car. And then like the option I like was a Veloster N that I could like buy, but then it subtly mentioned, hey, this is in the $4.99 pack of cars you could buy. Bruh, it's launch day, and you're trying to sell me fucking cars on launch day? Modern gaming just kind of sucks. Like, I don't know. So yeah, I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom, played a good bit of Starfield, going back to Tears of the Kingdom, trying to just beat that and finish it. I'm going to do all the shrines, because for $70, I got to make sure that I get every penny's worth out of that game. And I haven't even like done the later missions, because I want to do all the shrines first, get as much health as I can, and then work my way to Ganondorf and destroy that evil bastard one last time. Because again, spoilers, but they've already kind of confirmed that there is no third game in that series. They're going to go for something new next time. Leave a comment down below if you even make it this far in the video, but what would you like to see in the next Zelda? Personally, I miss dungeons. The dungeons in the last... Well, because Breath of the Wild didn't even have dungeons at all. They had the 4 fucking beasts, divine beasts, and then it was like a micro dungeon. It was so shit. They were just shit. I want a real dungeon where you go in, get the compass, get the map, get the small keys. You know, they didn't even have a fucking grappling hook in either of the Zelda games, unless I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. The boomerangs are terrible. They didn't even have the things where you chuck the boomerang and then it ding, and then it lights up, and then it'll like open up a door, and just if you played Zelda, you know what I'm talking about. Like, where... Damned if they do, damned if they don't. Like, they changed up the whole formula. They're great games, but like, where are the fucking dungeons? So like, in the new game, you finally have sort of real dungeons, right? They're like a little bit better. So like, the lava shrine, cave, divine area, whatever you want to call it, was pretty cool. And it had the trains and the carts rather, and everything like that. And it was super fun. You had to like rocket them and do this and that, and then it was great. It was fun. I want more of that. I want 8 dedicated dungeons like every fucking Zelda for the last 30 years. I want a fire dungeon, a water dungeon, a sky dungeon, a rock dungeon. Like, I want all that shit back in the next Zelda game. That's what I personally want. What I'd really like, what would be cool to me, so let's look at a timeline of the last, let's say, 10 years of Zelda games. So you had, just as a whole, you had Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you had Link's Awakening remake, you had Wind Waker remake, you had Twilight Princess remake, or remasters, whatever you want to call it. Then you had A Link Between Worlds, which I'd really like to see that come to the Switch. I'm usually a proponent of not port begging, but I'd like to see A Link Between Worlds somehow get worked onto the Switch. I think that would be really cool. I think they could do it. They'd have to tweak some shit, but they could make it work. And then that's pretty much it. Those 6 games. So out of all those, Wind Waker has always been my favorite because I'm a GameCube guy. That's the system I had as a kid. That was like my system. So Wind Waker is obviously my favorite Zelda game. I'd like to see them take the formula of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, whatever, big open world shit, mix it with Wind Waker where it's like a water kind of thing, right? Water world. And then mix in the crafting and shit, but then also put dungeons back in the game. So kind of just imagine Wind Waker had a baby with Breath of the Wild. And then like you have to go around and collect, like basically just make Wind Waker into Breath of the Wild. Collect the Triforce pieces and shit, and then get the red lion again. Oh my god! And the little thing. I kind of just want to play Wind Waker again. But yeah, so that's what I would like in the next Zelda game. That to me that would be some fucking mint shit right there to get Wind Waker as a big open world thing. I mean, I guess it was technically open world, but like a bigger one. Well, I don't know. Then that might be kind of annoying having to travel that much in the boat, as I was just bitching about Starfield traveling. But again, it's just kind of different with Zelda. Plus, you'd be on one field. It wouldn't be like loading screens. That's the thing with Starfield that I guess I should have mentioned. It was the constant loading screens all the time. And I have a Samsung 980 Pro, so like my computer's fast as shit. And it's still just those loading screens just really unimmerses you out of the games, or out of the game, Starfield. What else? Been playing those. That's pretty much all I've really been playing, is just really those two, and then that's pretty much it. So yeah, that kind of about covers that. As far as these go, I definitely like want to play this. Definitely like want to jump into that. But then now that I'm talking about Wind Waker, I haven't played that in probably, I don't know, when did that come out? 2013. So it's been like 10 years since I last played Wind Waker. Definitely want to try this. I heard very mixed things. If you've played this, definitely let me know if you enjoyed it. I heard that it's good, but it's more of like a one-time and you're done playing it because you've enjoyed it, and there's no, like, you wouldn't want to go back to it kind of thing. And then also I heard that you don't, like, there's at the beginning of the game, there's like a recap for the 3DS one. It's like a memory cutscene kind of thing or whatever. But I would still recommend playing the first one first. But yeah, so that's going to do it, guys. This is about a 40-minute video, so yeah, it kind of is what it is, typical DGC fashion. Got some good stuff coming, I promise. I'm going to get back on the train here. I keep saying it, but I'm going to do it. Like, as soon as I'm done this, I already have a stack of Xbox stuff sitting there, ready to record. It's coming. Relax. Keep your pants on. So look forward to that. But as always, peace out for now, guys. Till next time.
Come here, you mother...